Hello and welcome to your English Voice episode 11. This is a free experience inside the world of Inglés con Victoria to help you sound as clear, confident, and professional in English as you do in Spanish. Every week, I've brought you short, potent trainings that help you amplify your global presence and own your English voice. And I said, I brought you because I can't believe that we are in our second to last episode. It's crazy how time flew, but I'm so happy because we were able to cover so many transformational topics that I'm sure they will help you advance in your English mastery a lot faster. So, having said that, let's get started. In this episode, we are going to talk about confusion, why you feel frustrated, confused, and even challenged when you are studying or learning English. Now, if you feel resistance, confusion, like I don't understand everything, I can't believe it, why I mix the tenses, and maybe you feel that you are not meant to master the language, I want you to know that that is a sign you are learning. It means that you are growing, that your brain is making connections and adapting to complexity. So, in this episode, we are going to cover three main topics: why discomfort and confusion are essential for learning, how to choose challenges strategically to grow in a global professional setting, the role of self leadership, attention, and repetition in turning that challenge into real progress. Also, along the way, I will be giving you some vocabulary phrases that you can use not only to change how you think, but also how you show up and therefore your results. So, let's start by having a conversation about why discomfort and learning go together. So, here's the thing: if your English classes don't feel challenging, if they feel easy, you're not learning. You are revising. You are maybe refining some skills. But when you are truly learning, at times you will feel like I don't know anything, like I'm confused, because this is how it works. You start building connections, you start learning a few things here and there, and then everything makes sense. But when a new topic, a new structure is introduced, what usually happens is that it breaks your construction, what you have built a little bit. It makes it a bit more unstable until you start making the right connections again, and then you can integrate everything and you feel comfortable once again. But that takes progress, that takes a journey, that takes structure so that you don't give up when it feels uncomfortable, because it will feel uncomfortable. So, here are some language moments that I want to share with you. I'm refining my skills. I'm refining my skills. Now, I'm going to make a side comment about this. Refining skills is part of your learning strategy. I definitely go back into a lot of the things that I studied in the past and refine my skills, integrate my skills with other things that I have already learned as well. So, refining skills is part of your strategy. The problem is that if your classes, if your training feels too easy, you're not learning new stuff. I'm still learning, so it feels challenging. I'm still learning, so it feels challenging. I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So remember that it's very common to feel confused when you are learning, when you are growing. If that is you, breathe and put things into perspective. Know that you might need some more practice. Maybe you need to go back and revisit past materials, past things that you learned, so that your foundation is stronger and therefore you can learn the new concepts faster. Topic number 2 is choose your challenge. Be very strategic about what you're choosing to learn. So, for example, sometimes when we study English with traditional classes, we can definitely get at a very advanced point of the language. And the challenge comes in, for example, knowing a lot of vocabulary about the weather, sometimes even about the different type of snow that exists in the world. But if you're a software engineer, how useful is that for you to know? Wouldn't be better if you learned soft skills in English? So, yes, there are a lot of trainings that can be challenging, but my recommendation to you is choose your challenge. So, here's the next language moment. I need to excel in global settings. I need to excel in global settings. I'm focusing on skills that are strategically relevant. I'm focusing on skills that are strategically relevant. This training is challenging, but it's helping me grow. This training is challenging, but it's helping me grow. I also want to share this with you. At first, the challenge might feel so hard, but after a few weeks, your brain starts to adapt. You will build memory networks and connections that will help you perform under pressure. So, now I'm gonna share with you some connectors that you can use in your communication as well. At first, it felt too hard, but after some time, at first, it felt too hard, but after some time, even though it's challenging, it helps me grow professionally. Even though it's challenging, it helps me grow professionally. As I practice more, I notice improvement. As I practice more, I notice improvement. Now we are ready to talk about topic number 3, which has to do with self leadership, attention, and the right type of repetition. So, to truly benefit from a challenge, from being confused, you really need to tap into your self leadership, which can be translated as your ability to stick to the plan and not give up. Attention, which means fully engaging with the material and saying no to any other type of distraction. In this day and age, we are bombarded with suggestions, with generic advice, which can really derail our progress. So, if you are already doing a training that feels challenging to you, that you are satisfied with, you're happy with, close all other windows, which means say no to distractions and to other voices. Focus on what you're doing. And repetition. So, repetition can be very strategic to really build strong foundations, because one of the reasons why you might feel very confused is because you don't have a solid structure of the language, and therefore adding more ideas, concepts, and knowledge is making you feel a little bit uncertain and unstable. So going back and having a portion of your routine, of your studying routine, to do revision is very strategic. Now, when you do revision, you want to do it in a brain friendly way and not only rely on rote memorization. So, now let's focus on our language moment number 4, which is I'm intentionally revisiting this material to strengthen my memory. I'm intentionally revisiting this material to strengthen my memory. I'm paying full attention to improve my learning. I'm paying full attention to improve my learning. I'm practicing daily to build strong habits. I'm practicing daily to build strong habits. The bottom line is if your brain it feels uncomfortable and challenged, it means you are learning. The key here is to follow through. Don't give up and use your resources, your strategies to course correct if you derailed. But know that if you are following a well structured learning plan, all you need is to show up, have a studying routine, and be able to lead yourself successfully in those moments when you feel discomfort and challenged. Learning can be a humbling process for an adult. So, what it will require is a lot of self compassion and also self leadership. So, don't be very harsh on yourself and look for the right type of support. And the invitation here is for you to reframe struggle with learning and growing. So, with the right strategy, attention, and repetition, you will be able to master the language and own your English voice. Okay, so that was all for today. Remember to check all the links down below, and I will see you next week with our last episode of Season 1, The Confidence Arena Inside the World of Inglés con Victoria. I hope you can stay determined, build the right habits, and follow through even when you feel challenged. Because remember, if you don't give up, you will end up mastering the language and owning your English voice. See you in our next episode. Bye bye.